Welcome into this week's edition of the RedHawk Hoops Report. Luke West Poley, joined by the head coach of the Miami women, Glenn Box. Coach, one game this past week, another close win. How you
Yeah,
guys feeling headed into this week?
feel really good. It's good to get another road win under our belts against a more than quality opponent. They're a really good team, well coached, and so it feels good for our program, to be able to get something like that.
Had to come from behind in the win against Louisiana. You led for most of the fourth quarter in the game against Kent State. But in a game where the shot making wasn't there as much for you guys late, you were 0 of 5 from three, I think in the fourth quarter. How were you guys still able to kind of keep that lead on the road and end up winning the game?
Well, that's the thing about basketball. Like it's tough to shoot the ball well all the time. We had wide open looks, they just didn't drop. And it's like that sometimes. And the key when you're in a situation like that, you don't want to fall in love with that specific shot when that thing's not going down. You got to have a sense of the moment. And we did a good job of still finding other ways to score, other than sit there and taking what they were giving us because we were getting wide open shots, and so I don't think our execution down the stretch was great, but we won, and winning's hard, and we're trying to reshape mentalities around here. So sometimes you just need to find ways to win, and we figure out to be more efficient as we go.
Guys went into the locker room. You were down 5 points at the time, and then outscored Kent State 24-8 in the third. What do you think was the difference for you guys in just kind of opening up that gap in the third quarter?
Well, I think we did a good job as far as bending the defense better. We had some really nice penetrate kicks, especially one to start, Katie get us going, to start the second half. And then we were able to get out in transition a lot easier. It was a lot better. We were more in the open court, not to mention we were finding more space in the half court, which we needed. And so, I just think that as the game wore on, we were getting more comfortable. And that's usually the thing about our team, as we get a better feel defensively, we're able to clamp down and we get these long stretches where we're able to get stops. And when you're able to get stops, scoring becomes easier, And so I felt like, that's pretty much what happened that game as well. And so, um, we did a good job. Our kids did a really good job of understanding personnel, understanding the sets that they were trying to run, and being able to be disruptive and take them out of what they like to do. And I felt like the second half, especially the third quarter, they were really uncomfortable. And, that's a testament to our kids.
Talking about comfortability for you guys a little bit, didn't play as many close games in the non-conference. That tends to be a little more typical that the games get closer as the season goes on, right? But you've started to play some significantly closer games here in the last couple weeks or so, and oftentimes with a team as young as what you guys have, there can be a tendency to panic in those moments in the final minutes of close games, right? But it hasn't seemed like you guys have done that. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just think it's changing program, reshaping minds, all that runs its own course. Like it's an organic thing, and you got to be careful not to press the issue too much. Try to force things. This team is a new team. It's young. We had our moments in the. I felt like there were moments where we didn't handle the best in the first half of the season, even this time of season. But now that we've been there, we have a little more experience, and we're improving, in some specific areas, um, which have allowed us to finish these last two games, right? And so it's part of the process, we do have kids that are making plays, they're playing with confidence. And, I think that we're playing our best basketball as we move forward down the stretch, And those games that we won, they were on the road. You're not just winning by small amount margins, you're winning on the road, which is an even more difficult thing. I just think that to kind of add to our point, to be team like Kent State, I felt like the pressure was there to beat them, and because we had opportunity against Toledo, we had opportunity against Buffalo, even Ball State, like they were hanging around. We lost tomorrow in the second half. Like we had those chances to really do something against those teams that are more established, those programs that we talked about, and we didn't take advantage of those moments. And so like now that we've been through it time and time and time again, like this is the next hurdle. Like, we got to beat those teams but before we can do that, we got to beat Akron. Akron's coming up. So, I'm ready to beat them. I want to win bad.
Akron's another team now in this kind of gauntlet of repeat opponents for you guys that I think we talked about a little bit on the show last week, but a team that you saw just a few weeks ago, relatively recently. You got a 22-point win against them at home, including a 3-point second quarter that you guys allowed defensively. What do you think was the key to success for you guys defensively in that game? You only allowed 14 points in the first half, as mentioned, with just the 3 points in the second, which is pretty incredible. But what do you think went right for you guys defensively?
I think it was all about ball pressure, specifically against this team. I think that we were disruptive is a word that I use a lot around here. We were extremely disruptive. And we gave them a lot of problems and we blew them up out of sets and they were playing a lot of broken basketball. And so, that was important that we brought the energy, the effort, the attitude that has to that has to carry over to this game as well. Like we've done nothing yet, we got to be super hungry. We can't rest on our laurels. Like, we're angry that, we're not, that we let some games slip from us. Unfortunately, it wasn't in our cards, didn't fall our way. But, I can speak to our to our team. Like we're angry right now. Like we got business to take care of. And so Akron just happens to be the next opponent, and we need to be ready to go.
Went 10 deep on the bench again on Saturday. It's become relatively common, it seems like, for you to go a little bit deeper into the bench here over these last few weeks. What do you think has just been the reason for that? And have you liked what you've seen from some of those players that have gotten a little more time of late?
I do. I like exactly what I see from our kids. They're aware that everybody can't play. So it's hard to get everyone in. But at the same time, now that we are where we are in our season and I have a better understanding of what our personnel is, we're able to be more strategic in our usage now. And so there's going to be games where you might not see a kid at all, and then you turn around, that kid plays 15, 20 minutes the next night. And so, like, I'm trying really hard as a staff. We are trying hard to utilize our kids. We want to use them. We want to be able to take what they can give us. And I think our team, for the most part, we have tremendous buy-in. Our kids understand it. Our starters understand that we need our bench. And so it's a total team thing. And so expect to see a lot more of that. I can't speak to every game exactly how many people will play, but there is much more strategy involved now at this juncture, and how we utilize our kids, and so and a lot of it's taken this long to figure out who we have, and so some games early in the season we lost that we wouldn't lose, and that's where I think it's a part of playing our best basketball during this time of year, and so I feel like we're doing that. But I think we're also coaching better, you know, because there's more understanding.
We saw a lot earlier in the season from you guys, some of the really high event games where both teams are over 25 turnovers and things get a little bit crazy, right? But the last few weeks, I think a major part of your success has been having pretty significant advantages in the turnover department. Crushed Akron. You were plus 16, I think, in that game in turnover margin. And then in the Kent State game on Saturday, you guys were plus 6. How long have you felt like in practice you guys have maybe started to clean that up a little bit to the point where you can get some extra possessions and start to win that turnover battle to the point where it really feels like it's changing games?
Well, we turn it over a lot, way obviously more than what we want to turn the basketball over. What I know is from my experience just from last year is that I'm gonna use this word again, organic. Like you can't force things, the obvious, any person at home can say, oh, they turn the ball over a lot. Well, it's not that easy to fix, right? Like our kids know, they see it on film, they see it on the court, they're getting coached up constantly all the time. And it just takes time, for them to understand their skill set, understand what they see. It takes time to, continue to develop their skill set. And it also takes time for me to understand what's the best way to put them in positions to be successful. And so as we proceed through the season, like we're all cognizant of all of that from the players to the coaches. And I think naturally we should be better. I think we are better. We still will make mistakes, but it's not because we don't know why and we don't know how. We make mistakes because we make mistakes. And so our kids are more cognizant, and I think there's more intent in what they do. Therefore, they have a better appreciation of value of the ball. And so I think we're better at this point. I think we're better. Sorry it took me so long to say all of that, but I think we're better. We're definitely better.
Great. Well, Miami wraps up the road trip coming up on Wednesday, end of the three-game stretch on the road against the Akron Zips, 6 o'clock start on ESPN Plus, the Miami Radio Network. Back at home, finally, coming up on Saturday, a 1 o'clock start against the Buffalo Bulls, also on ESPN Plus, the Miami Radio Network, and RedHawk Radio right here as well. Until next week, Coach Box, appreciate it.
I appreciate you, look, man. You take care, okay?
You too.
All right, man. Thanks.